My friends come first. You're optional. Deal with it, my girlfriend said when she ditched our anniversary for her friend group. I quietly packed my things and left. She called me controlling, then brought them to confront me. Their public meltdown exposed everything they'd been hiding. Hey, Reddit! My girlfriend chose her friend group over me at every turn, so I finally said, nah, I'm done, packed up, and walked away. But her little core wasn't finished. Before we get to that, let me start from the beginning. I'm 27 and just ended a 2-year relationship because apparently I was dating 5 people, not one. My girlfriend Natalie is 25, and somewhere along the way I became an accessory to her friend group instead of an actual boyfriend. We moved in together about 7 months ago. Split rent, utilities, groceries, found a decent 2-bedroom in Riverside, $3,600 a month total, so $1,800 each. I work as a fire safety inspector for the city. Decent money, stable schedule. Thought we were building towards something real. Marriage eventually, maybe kids. Turns out I was reading a completely different book. Natalie works as a graphic designer for some startup downtown. Makes about the same as me. We split everything 50-50. Would have been simple if the core hadn't been involved in every decision. The core, Brittany, Brandon, Ivy, and Cole. They call themselves that without any irony. Started in college, became permanent identity, been inseparable for 7 years. They run their friendship like a small business. Shared spreadsheets, coordinated schedules weeks ahead, constant group chat buzzing with 300 messages daily. Together 3 or 4 times weekly. Monday trivia, Wednesday climbing, Friday movie nights, plus spontaneous weekends. My buddies and I grab beers twice a month. Normal stuff. We all have our own lives, but the core operates differently, and Natalie acts like missing one event means exile. That fear ruled everything. The group chat is constant. Her phone buzzes during meals, movies, conversations, 3 in the morning sometimes. I watched her check it during her uncle's funeral, because Cole needed everyone to weigh in about some girl. Cole's the worst, always fishing for details about other people's drama. Needs chaos to feel relevant. If there's a conflict anywhere in their social circle, he's the one narrating it to everyone else like it's breaking news. Makes everything into a story for the group chat. The breaking point came last week. Our 2-year anniversary was Saturday. I'd planned it a month ago. Made reservations at Marcello's where we had our first date. Got Radiohead tickets since she'd been obsessing over their tour. Even bought her that vintage typewriter from the antique shop she kept visiting. Told her about it 3 weeks ahead because I knew she scheduled everything with the core in advance. Wanted to lock it in early. Found her Thursday night scrolling Instagram stories of her friends at some brewery. Hey, just confirming Saturday. Reservations are at 7 and the concert's at 9. Her face dropped. Oh, that's Ivy's birthday pregame. I can't miss that. Stomach flip. Could they do Friday or Sunday? Her birthday's not even Saturday. And we planned this 3 weeks ago. Head shaking. Saturday's the only night everyone can make it work together. Brandon's got his exam Sunday. Brittany's been working doubles and needs this. Cole just broke up with that girl and he's a mess. We haven't had all 5 of us together for a proper full night hang-in almost a month. But it's our anniversary. Once a year. You can see them any other time. That's when everything shifted. She sat back, crossed her arms. Love can wait. Friendship can't. They were here before you, and they'll be here after. I stared. Not if something happens or God forbid, just casual after. Like our breakup was already scheduled between Brittany's birthday and their summer beach trip. This wasn't the first time. My sister's wedding 2 months ago. Destination wedding in Santa Barbara. I was a groomsman. Natalie was my +1, but the core got festival tickets same weekend. She went Thursday through Sunday, sent me photos of them covered in body paint, showed up looking destroyed, stayed 90 minutes before leaving. My sister asked what was going on, said Natalie seemed miserable to be there. When my dad had his heart procedure and was hospitalized overnight, Natalie couldn't visit. Weekly movie night. They were watching the extended Lord of the Rings trilogy. She said she couldn't let the group down, that my dad was stable anyway. My dad, who'd always treated her like family, was recovering from cardiac ablation, and movie night took priority. But she expects me to drop everything for her. 3 months ago, she called at 1:30 in the morning to pick her up from some club downtown. Cole was too wasted to drive. Got there, and she barely acknowledged me. 20-minute ride home listening to recap of bar drama. Last week, I overheard her on the phone with Ivy. Apparently, I'm going through some controlling phase. Like I'm the problem for wanting basic priority. I've tried talking to her about balance dozens of times. She promises to do better, then immediately makes plans that exclude me. When I point it out, she says I'm isolating her. Right now, I'm in a coffee shop 4 blocks from our apartment. Been looking at rentals. Found a 1-bedroom 15 minutes away. Application is in my drafts. I love her, or thought I did, but I can't keep coming last. My buddy Owen thinks I should give her an ultimatum, but I'm exhausted from begging someone to prioritize me. Submitted that application 15 minutes after leaving the coffee shop. Got approval 2 days later. Spent the next 10 days moving out whenever Natalie was gone. Every night. Tuesday dinner with Brittany. Wednesday climbing. Thursday some rooftop bar Cole wanted to try. Friday movie night. Saturday brunch and shopping. Made it easy to pack without drama. Started small. Clothes, books, supplies. Things she wouldn't notice immediately. Natalie's naturally messy. Leaves her stuff everywhere. Barely looks at what's mine versus hers. Plus, she never goes in my closet or checks my side of things. By day 6, I'd moved about half my belongings. My new place was taking shape while our apartment just looked slightly less cluttered, which honestly, she probably appreciated. Friday night around 1, I was packing a few more boxes when I heard her key. She'd texted an hour earlier they were wrapping up. Her footsteps stopped in the living room. "Where's all your stuff? Where are you?" Voice getting higher with each room. Kitchen, bathroom, office, found me in the bedroom. She stood scanning. My closet mostly empty, nightstand cleared, gaming setup gone. "Are you moving out?" Handed her the letter I'd written. 2 pages. Said I needed someone who actually wanted to prioritize our relationship. That I couldn't keep feeling like an afterthought. That I'd spent 2 years hoping she'd figure out what I needed, but it was clear she couldn't or wouldn't. She read it once fast, then slower. When she looked up, her expression had changed. "You're seriously leaving me because I have friends? Because I won't abandon everyone? Not about having friends. Then what?" She waved the letter. "This reads like you want me to choose. I want you to care about me too. Want to feel like I matter." Stared at me like I was insane. "Of course you matter. But I can't ditch everyone every time you want attention." That word. Attention. Like wanting our anniversary together was me being needy. I asked for one evening. Our anniversary. That I planned 3 weeks ago. And I explained why that night mattered. More important than us. She threw her hands up. "This is ridiculous. You're throwing away 2 years because you can't handle me having a life. You knew who I was." I looked at her and realized she genuinely believed this. In her mind, I was the problem. "Thought I knew who you were. Thought you wanted to build something with me." "I do. Just not if it means cutting everyone off." "Nobody's asking you to cut them off. Just make space for me too." Already shaking her head. We circled like that for 20 minutes. Same arguments. She saw me as controlling. I saw it as basic needs. No middle ground. Finally held up my hands. "I'm done." "Done arguing or done with us?" "Both." That seemed to hit different. Her posture changed. Then she started following me around listing memories. But every memory involved her friends. "Remember that concert where we ran into Brittany and Brandon? That dinner we cooked for the whole core?" Like she couldn't recall experiences that were just us. Told her I'd get the rest this weekend while she was at Ivy's pool party. Left my key on the counter and walked out. Saturday morning, I'm unpacking when my phone explodes. Natalie calling back to back. When I don't answer, texts start. Long paragraphs about talking like adults. How I'm being immature. How relationships need communication. Ignored it all. Figured she'd move on. Wrong. By noon, the core started messaging individually. Brittany sent a massive text about how devastated Natalie is. How I'm breaking up the family. Used therapy speak about boundaries and emotional labor. Said I needed to unpack my need for priority. That wanting to center myself in her life was toxic masculinity. Brittany's had 3 relationships crash and burn in the past 4 years. And now she talks like every man is a case study. Cole called me selfish for ghosting instead of working things out. Brandon tried the reasonable approach, said we should all meet and discuss properly. Even Ivy, who I'd spoken to maybe 8 times total, sent me a voice message. Didn't say much, just sighed a lot and said, "Energy doesn't lie, and I'm sending light." Messages got aggressive. "You're going to regret this. Natalie deserves better." Real mature. By Sunday, they'd moved to calling me emotionally abusive for abandoning her without warning, despite the detailed letter. Monday evening, I got home around 7, parked, and walked to my building entrance. That's when I saw them. All 5 standing outside like an intervention squad. Natalie front and center, the others lined up behind. She started talking before I reached the door. Loud enough for the whole block. "We need to settle this now. You don't get to disappear. We're all adults here. There's nothing to settle. Made my decision, explained my reasons. I'm leaving." Reached for the door. Natalie's voice stopped me. Shaky but loud. "You can't just walk away from 2 years like it meant nothing. That's not fair." Turned back. Fair was our anniversary. Fair was my sister's wedding. Fair was my dad in the hospital. I chose me. That's what's unfair to you. Brandon stepped forward. "Dude, you're being selfish. Know how much you're hurting her? Hurting all of us?" I looked at him. What exactly did I do to hurt people I barely know? Apparently, dating Natalie made me part of their family system. Leaving her was abandoning all of them. Most codependent thing I'd ever heard. It was surreal. Brittany was talking about safe spaces and healthy communication. Brandon kept trying to mediate. Ivy was on her phone, probably texting in the group chat. Cole was fishing for details, asking leading questions, clearly loving the drama, and Natalie just stood there nodding like this ambush was normal. You have 30 seconds to leave before I call security. They didn't move. Walked inside and called security exactly like I said. Security came out, asked them to leave. They argued but eventually backed off. Not before Natalie shouted this wasn't over. That was a month ago. Calls and texts finally stopped after 2 weeks. Still get occasional messages from random numbers. But they haven't shown up again. Management knows to watch for them. Don't regret leaving for a second. But I'm shocked by how aggressive it got. In the weeks after that building confrontation, things got coordinated. Owen works at the same gym as Brandon. He started telling me Brandon was spreading things, said I isolated Natalie from her support system, that I had anger issues and control problems, classic stuff. No specifics, just vague implications meant to make me sound dangerous without saying anything I could actually challenge. Then the social media campaign started. Ivy posted photos of her and Natalie looking sad with captions like, healing era, and when they show you who they are, believe them. Never said my name. Just created vague clouds where people filled in the blanks themselves. Brittany posted Instagram threads about recognizing controlling behavior. Started general, got specific. If your partner gets upset when you spend time with friends, that's not love. That's control. Tagged Natalie. Everyone connected the dots. Cole worked the Whisper network, reached out to mutual friends individually. Just checking in conversations that turned into Natalie's pretty shaken up. The way he left was intense. She said he'd been getting really demanding. Complete lies, but said like reluctant concern. I didn't respond to any of it at first. Saved screenshots instead. Every post, every message, every third-hand story that came back to me. Documented timestamps. Built a file. Organized it by date and person. Made notes about what was provably false versus what was just implication. Owen told me to defend myself publicly. Post my side. Clear my name. I told him to wait. That reacting too early would make me look defensive. That I needed to let them overplay their hand. The real escalation came 3 weeks after I moved out. Got a fraud alert on my phone while I was doing an inspection at a restaurant downtown. $847 charged to my credit card. Same card I'd let Natalie keep during our relationship for emergency. Car trouble, medical stuff, whatever came up. I'd honestly forgotten she still had it. Check the transaction details. Previous Friday night. Expensive Italian place near the waterfront. Right when the Corps had posted about their Support Natalie dinner. All 5 of them at some trendy spot with exposed brick and $30 pasta. Called the restaurant from the parking lot. Asked to speak to a manager. Explained I was disputing a charge from Friday. Manager pulled up the transaction. Said yes. Party of 5. Reserved under Natalie's name. Multiple bottles ordered. Appetizers, entrees, desserts, cocktails. Bill came to just over $700 before she added a 20% tip. Brought it to $847 total. When the bill came, Natalie handed over my card. Signed the receipt. She'd used my credit card to fund an expensive dinner, where they were probably all talking about what a terrible person I was. Felt justified. Thought I owed her. Called my bank immediately. Disputed the charge as unauthorized use. Explained the card was supposed to be for emergencies only, that I'd broken up with the person and forgotten to cancel it. They froze the transaction, started an investigation, issued me a new card number. Then I sent Natalie one text. Only message I'd sent since leaving. Using my credit card without permission is fraud. Amount has been disputed and reported. Any further contact goes through official channels only. Hit send. Blocked her number immediately after. That's when Brittany tried to spin it. Posted within hours. Financial abuse doesn't end when the relationship does. Weaponizing money to punish someone for leaving is textbook controlling behavior. Cutting someone off from resources they relied on is manipulation. The comments ate it up. People I didn't even know calling me manipulative. Saying I was proving I'd been controlling all along. Saying this was why Natalie needed her friends. But I had receipts. Bank statements showing the card was opened for emergencies. Text messages from months ago where Natalie and I discussed it, where she agreed it was for emergencies only. Transaction history showing she'd used it exactly once during our entire relationship, for a car tow, which I'd told her to do. Then nothing until after we broke up. Still didn't post anything, just saved Brittany's post. Added it to the file. Then things got worse. Week after the credit card incident, I went back to our old apartment to get my final boxes. I'd taken over the lease temporarily when Natalie moved out 2 weeks prior, just to finish the move out cleanly and handle the logistics. She'd gotten her stuff earlier. Landlord was there for a routine inspection. Mentioned Natalie had been by the previous day. Said she'd taken some mail. He thought it was strange since she'd already moved out and wasn't on the lease anymore. Asked what she took. He didn't know specifics. Just saw her leaving with some envelopes. I checked my mail pile I'd left on the kitchen counter. Important stuff was gone. DMV renewal notice for my vehicle registration, credit card statement, some documents from work about my benefits enrollment. Not trash, not junk mail. Specific important documents that would cause me problems if I missed them. That crossed a line. Taking mail is federal, and she was no longer a tenant. Called the landlord, explained the situation, said I needed the locks changed since my ex-girlfriend, who was no longer on the lease, had apparently kept a key and was entering without permission and taking my mail. He agreed immediately. Mail theft is a federal crime. Rekeyed it that afternoon. Gave me the only copy. I sent Natalie a formal email through the landlord stating she no longer had any access to the property and any further entry without permission would be trespassing. Cole tried to spin it. Posted something vague about illegal lockouts and retaliation tactics. Made it sound like I was doing it to hurt her. Left out that her lease had ended. Left out that she'd already gotten everything. Left out the mail theft. Just painted me as petty. Around this time, Owen started noticing something at the gym. Brandon was showing up with Emma more often, working out together, leaving together, looking relaxed. Owen mentioned Emma had given Brandon a clear boundary early on. She wasn't dating him and 4 other people. If he wanted a relationship with her, he needed to establish boundaries with his friends, to prioritize their relationship sometimes, to not need group approval for every decision. Same thing I'd asked for. Exact same thing. And Brandon was doing it, pulling back from constant core activities, missing events, not responding to the group chat as quickly, building a life with Emma. Natalie confronted him at the gym, asked why he was becoming like Devin, why he was choosing Emma over the family. Brandon told her she was being unreasonable, that he was allowed to have a relationship, that she needed to grow up. First crack in the core. Then Brittany got promoted and moved to Seattle. Ivy and Cole made their relationship official. Every change made Natalie spiral harder, trying to hold everything together through guilt and manipulation. Owen said she'd been telling everyone it was my fault, that I'd poisoned them all, that everyone was pulling a Devin, like I was patient zero for growing up. But I still stayed quiet, documented everything, kept building my file, saved every post, every screenshot, every third-hand story, organized it chronologically, made notes about what could be proven false versus what was just spin. Because I knew they weren't done yet. People like this never are. They'd push until they got the dramatic confrontation they wanted. And when they did, I'd be ready. The second ambush came at a coffee shop 6 weeks after I moved out. Meeting Owen for lunch at Groundwork Coffee on 4th. Walked in around noon, and there they were. Natalie, Brittany, Brandon, and Ivy. Cole, notably absent, probably working. Corner table near the window. All saw me immediately. This wasn't random. Owen had texted me that morning confirming noon. I'd confirmed back. Then 20 minutes before I arrived, he texted saying he'd be late. Looking back, I realized the timing was too perfect. They must have been watching the entrance, waiting for me to show up alone. Whether they got lucky with Owen's delay, or had been staking out multiple days, I don't know. But they were ready. Brandon stood first, pushed his chair back. Devin, man, can we talk for a minute? Just a conversation. I looked at him, looked at the table. Adults don't bring an audience to negotiations. Brittany stepped forward. We're not here to attack you. We think you owe Natalie a real conversation instead of hiding behind blocked numbers. I don't owe anyone a performance. Already said what I needed to say. I'm leaving. Reached for the door. Natalie's voice stopped me, shaky but loud. You can't just walk away from 2 years like it meant nothing. That's not fair. Turned back. Fair was our anniversary. Fair was my sister's wedding. Fair was my dad in the hospital. I chose me. That's what's unfair to you. Brandon tried again, voice dropping to reasonable. Look, we all care about both of you. This doesn't have to end like this. Just sit down for 10 minutes. It already ended. You're just mad you weren't consulted. Ivy had her phone out. Not subtle. Recording from waist level. I smiled at her. Get my good side if you're going to lie about me. She lowered it. Partially. Angle changed but still recording. Brittany jumped in. You're clearly hurt and that's valid. But Natalie deserves real closure. She deserves to understand why you abandoned her. Closure isn't a service I provide. We're done here. Walked to the counter. Ordered coffee to go. The barista looked uncomfortable. Paid. Stood waiting while they regrouped behind me. Brittany's voice carrying. He's not ready for mature conversation. Walking away again. Natalie crying. He won't even look at me. Brandon trying to sound calm. Give him a minute. Got my coffee. Walked past their table. Didn't acknowledge them. Just left. Outside, I heard Brittany through the door saying something about unhealthy patterns. Heard Natalie's voice break. Sent Owen a text to meet somewhere else. But that interaction told me something different than the building ambush. That one had been aggressive, confrontational, demanding. This one was performed, calculated. They wanted me to look cold. Wanted footage of me walking away while Natalie cried. Wanted to show people I wouldn't even talk to her. The escalation was strategic now, not just emotional. Week later, Ivy posted a 15-second clip to her story, carefully edited. Just me saying I don't owe anyone a performance, and walking away while Natalie cried in the background. Caption: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Comments calling me cold and heartless. But she'd cut everything. The ambush, the forced confrontation, the context. I screenshotted it before it disappeared, added it to my file. Then something unexpected happened. Got a DM from someone I didn't know. Profile said Jeremy Martinez. Mutual friends with Brittany. Message said, Brittany's ex. Heard you're dealing with the core's garbage. I've got stuff you might want to see. I was skeptical but curious. Asked what kind of stuff. He sent screenshots. Group chat between Brittany, Ivy, and Natalie from before the coffee shop. Planning it. Brittany: we need to corner him somewhere public so he can't just disappear. Coffee shop near his work would be perfect. If we can catch him when he's meeting Owen, even better. Ivy: I'll record the whole thing. Get his reaction when Natalie tries to talk to him. People need to see how cold he is. Natalie: what if he just leaves? Brittany: then we have that on camera too. Either way, we win. Another screenshot. Conversation between Brittany and Natalie about the credit card. Brittany: he won't notice. Use it for the dinner. Consider it what he owes you for emotional damages. Natalie: are you sure? Feels wrong. Brittany: he abandoned you. He doesn't get to play victim. Use the card. Then voice note transcripts. Brittany talking to Natalie, coaching her through responses, giving her literal lines for arguments with me. Brittany's voice in transcript. You need to control the narrative before he does. Post about healing. Let people read between the lines. Don't give him space to defend himself. Jeremy's next message. She did the same to me 2 years ago. Told everyone I was controlling when I asked her to stop prioritizing the group. Tried to destroy my reputation. I saved everything because I knew she'd do it again. I thanked him. Asked why he was helping. His response: because Cole's been DMing people saying you threatened Natalie. That's dangerous. Someone needs to stop them. Also, I'm petty, and watching Brittany face consequences would be satisfying. Fair enough. He sent one more thing. Screenshot from months ago. Brittany coaching Natalie through a fight with me from when we were together. Giving her lines word for word. Brittany: tell him he's isolating you. Use the word controlling. Make him defend himself so you can turn it around. Natalie: but he just asked me to skip one game night. Brittany: doesn't matter. Make him feel like he's the problem. Proof Natalie wasn't even speaking for herself. She was performing scripts. I saved everything Jeremy sent. Thanked him repeatedly. Told him I might need him to verify it was real. He said anytime. Said he'd be happy to go on record. That Brittany had done this to at least 2 other guys. That it was her pattern. Now I had a decision. Drop all of this publicly right now. Or wait for the right moment. I decided to wait. Because I knew they weren't done yet. The moment came 2 months after the breakup. Owen's friend Chris was getting engaged to his girlfriend Amanda. Big party at this event space downtown called The Foundry. Nice venue, exposed brick, string lights, open bar, about 80 people. Owen told me a week before that Chris and Amanda wanted me there. They knew the whole story. Amanda had actually dealt with the core before through mutual friends at some birthday party. Thought they were exhausting and performative. She'd apparently told Chris when they were planning the guest list, if Natalie shows up and causes drama, I'm personally throwing her out myself. I asked Owen if they'd been invited. He checked with Chris. Turned out Brandon was invited as someone's +1, some co-worker of Chris's who knew him, which meant the whole core might show up. They always traveled as a unit. I told Owen I'd go anyway. Bring my new girlfriend Zoe. I wasn't hiding. I'd been seeing Zoe for about 6 weeks at that point. Met her through work. She's an architect who does building consultations with the fire department, checking compliance for commercial spaces. We'd run into each other at a few job sites, started talking, grabbed coffee. She was calm, confident, didn't need drama. She knew about Natalie. I'd given her the overview during our 3rd date. Didn't hide anything. Told her about the core, the breakup, the harassment, all of it. Expected her to maybe be concerned. Instead, she just shrugged and said her ex had been similar. When I mentioned the engagement party and the possibility of running into Natalie and the whole core, Zoe didn't hesitate. If they start something and it gets unsafe or weird, we leave. Otherwise, I'm not intimidated by your ex-girlfriend and her fan club. They sound exhausting, but I can handle exhausting. That's when I knew she was different. No drama, no possessiveness, just normal about it. Day of the party, I wore a suit, charcoal gray, one I'd had tailored last year. Zoe wore this dark green dress that looked incredible on her. We showed up around 8, party already in full swing. Place was packed, music playing from a DJ in the corner, people clustered around high-top tables, bartenders working the open bar hard, string lights everywhere. Chris and Amanda looked happy, greeting people, thanking everyone for coming. Saw Owen first near the bar. He came over immediately, hugged Zoe, whispered to me that the core was there. All 5 of them. Brandon had brought Emma, but somehow the rest had tagged along anyway. They were posted up near the back corner by the emergency exit. Natalie in a white dress that was way too formal for someone who wasn't the bride, like she'd dressed for her own event. Owen also mentioned he'd quietly warned Chris and Amanda they were there. Amanda's immediate response: "If they try anything, they're out. This is our night." I thanked him. Zoe and I grabbed drinks from the bar. Gin and tonic for me, sparkling water with lime for her. Went and congratulated Chris and Amanda. They seemed genuinely happy to see me. Amanda pulled me aside for a second. "Devin, if your ex tries something, don't engage. Just let me know. Let me handle it. Nobody's ruining this." I appreciated that. Told her I wasn't expecting trouble, but I understood. For about an hour, everything was fine. Zoe and I talked to people, chatted with Owen and his girlfriend, met some of Chris's work friends, danced a little when a good song came on, had a legitimately good time. I could feel Natalie watching from across the room, but she wasn't approaching. Then around 9:30, she moved. I saw it happening. She stood up from their table, said something to the others. They all stood too. Brittany and Ivy pulled out their phones. Cole was already recording. Brandon looked uncomfortable but followed. Emma stayed at the table. They walked over as a unit. Natalie's voice cut through the music. "Devin, we need to talk. Right now. In front of everyone." Several heads turned. I looked up at her. Took a sip of my drink. "No, we don't. You owe me an explanation. You don't get to just leave and move on and act like I'm nothing." I already chose. That's why I'm smiling. Her eyes went to Zoe. "So you moved on that fast? 2 years meant nothing?" Zoe didn't even blink. Just looked at Natalie calmly. "This isn't a conversation. It's a performance." Natalie's face flushed. "You don't even know what happened. You don't know what he's capable of." Zoe took a sip of her drink. "You're right. I don't know your version. And I don't need to. Because he's here with me. And you're here with an audience." Brittany stepped in. Phone up. Recording. Natalie deserves closure. She deserves to understand why Devin abandoned her. I stood up. Truth doesn't need a ring light. Then looked at Natalie. "You want to tell everyone what happened? Tell them about our anniversary, my sister's wedding, my dad's hospital visit. Tell them about using my credit card. Tell them how your friends coached you with literal scripts." Her face changed. Panic flickered. "How did you—" Cole stepped forward, going live on Instagram. Voice loud. "Yo, this is crazy. Devin's here with some new girl and Natalie's finally confronting him. This is what accountability looks like." An older guy nearby spoke up. "Are you seriously live streaming at someone's engagement party? Put your phone away." Cole kept filming. "Public space. First Amendment." Venue staff stepped closer. "This is private property. You can leave or you can be removed." I looked at Cole. Bro's treating this like content. That's the whole diagnosis. That's when Amanda arrived. Chris behind her. Her face was set. "What's going on over here?" Natalie turned to her. Desperate. He needs to explain himself. He can't just be here with someone new like nothing happened. Amanda looked at me. "Devin, you good?" "I'm fine. They're the problem." Natalie's voice rising. Shrill. "No, you don't get to stay comfortable while I'm forced to see you moved on. You don't get to be happy." Amanda's expression went ice cold. "Actually, he does. This is my engagement party. And you're leaving. All of you. Right now." Brittany stepped in. Still filming. "We're friends of Brandon's. We were invited." Amanda looked at Brandon. "You brought them?" Brandon stepped back from the group. "I brought Emma. They just tagged along. I didn't know they were going to—" Amanda's jaw set. "Then they can leave with you. Out!" Chris was backing her up. Venue staff and security moved closer. That's when Brittany screwed up. Said it directly to camera. "This is what it looks like when someone gets protected after being emotionally abusive. This is male privilege in action." Amanda pointed at the phone. "Put that away now, or security takes it." An older woman nearby spoke up. "This is embarrassing. Leave these people alone." Security started escorting them toward the exit. Cole's livestream cutting out. Natalie tried one last time. Looked right at me. Loud enough for everyone. "You're not allowed to move on before I feel better." The room went quiet. Then someone snorted. Then awkward laughter spread because what she just said was so absurdly entitled, nobody could believe it was real. Security escorted them out. Brandon looked back once, genuinely embarrassed. Emma looked mortified and apologized to Amanda. Room was silent for 10 seconds. Then someone started slow clapping to break the tension. DJ turned the music back up. People started talking again. Amanda came back over. Sorry about that. Didn't think they'd actually try something? I thanked her. She waved it off. Not your drama, theirs. Honestly, best story we'll tell for years. We stayed another hour. People kept asking what happened. I kept it short. X couldn't let go. Brought her friends. They got kicked out. Sunday morning, I woke up to my phone blowing up. Messages from people I hadn't talked to in months, all sending me the same link. Someone had posted a thread. The truth about the core and what really happened. Screenshots of the group chat planning the coffee shop ambush. The conversation about the credit card. The coaching messages. The voice note transcripts. Brittany's exact words telling Natalie to use specific phrases. Then clips from Cole's livestream compared with Ivy's edited video from weeks ago. Showed how they'd cut context. How they'd framed things to make me look cold when they'd actually ambushed me. Then Jeremy's testimony. His story about Brittany. How she'd done the same to him. How the core operates like a machine. How they target anyone who tries to establish boundaries. The post ended with, "This isn't about a breakup. This is about a group who can't handle that not everyone wants to be part of their ecosystem. Devin didn't abandon Natalie. He chose himself, and they tried to destroy him for it." Comments were brutal. People calling out the entitlement. The "you're not allowed to move on" line getting memed. People recognizing therapy speak being weaponized. People pointing out bringing 5 people with cameras to someone's engagement party was unhinged. Owen called. "You see this?" "Yeah. I didn't post it." "I know. Jeremy did." Said watching Cole livestream pushed him over. Zoe called next. "You okay?" "I'm fine. Didn't want it public, but I'm not mad. They chose public. They filmed. They livestreamed. This is consequences." By Monday, everyone was talking about it. Brandon posted an apology, said he'd been wrong to enable the behavior, said he was stepping back from the core permanently, called out Brittany and Ivy specifically for recording and ambush tactics. Brittany went private, deleted posts. Radio silence. Ivy tried damage control, posted her own version, said things were taken out of context, comments destroyed her. People posting comparisons of her edited clips versus full videos. Her authenticity brand collapsed. Cole got roasted for the live stream. Comments filled with least self-aware person alive and desperate for views. Natalie didn't post anything. Went dark. Week later, Chris and Amanda sent a message to mutual friends. The core was not welcome at future events. Not because of the confrontation, but because they'd brought cameras and tried to turn someone's engagement into content. 2 weeks later, Brandon had fully cut ties. Emma had given him an ultimatum. He chose her. Brittany moved to Seattle early, burned bridges locally. Ivy and Cole broke up. When drama dried up, they had nothing. The core was done. Week after the receipts dropped, my phone buzzed. Email notification. Subject, cease and desist. RE, defamatory statements. Formal letter from an attorney I'd contacted, sent to Natalie, Brittany, and Cole. Professional language. Documented false claims. Demanded they stop all contact and remove defamatory content. Not a lawsuit threat, just a boundary with teeth. Cost me $400. Worth it. Harassment stopped completely. 3 months later, grocery store, produce section. Turned around and there she was. Natalie. Alone. Looking tired. We made eye contact. She walked over. "Can we talk? Just for a minute? Make it quick. I just wanted to say I get it now. What you were asking for. I see what Brandon and Emma have. I never gave you that. I'm sorry. I appreciate you saying that. I was wrong. About all of it. You look happy." I am. Zoe and I are doing well. Her face did this sad thing. That's good. You deserve that. So do you. Hope you find it. Grabbed my cart and walked away. Got home and told Zoe. She asked how I felt. Fine. It's done. And it was. Natalie had apologized because she genuinely realized she was wrong. The core falling apart forced her to look at her behavior. But it was too late. 6 months later, heard Natalie was dating someone new, making real effort to balance things. Good for her. Brittany stayed in Seattle. Ivy rebuilt slowly, dropped the performative stuff. Cole kept chasing drama, but people stopped engaging. Brandon and Emma got engaged. Small ceremony. Owen said it was peaceful. As for me and Zoe, we're solid. Got a dog. Planning Japan. Living like adults who chose each other on purpose. Sometimes I think about those 2 years. Then I remember being told love can wait. My sister's wedding. My dad's hospital visit. Anniversary plans canceled for a pregame. Being told I wasn't allowed to move on until she felt better. and I remember walking away despite every pressure to stay. Best decision I ever made. Sometimes choosing yourself is the only real choice there is. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.